Darragh Egan. Darragh, I suppose relief is probably the biggest thing that will come out of that for you today. But I said to you just before we started, you had that bit more to play for than Kilkenny, and I think that showed in your play.
Yeah, definitely. Look, when it came to the crunch, I suppose our lads stood up when it really counted. Relief is definitely the overriding emotion. Probably a bit of disappointment as well when you look back over the last few weeks. We didn't do ourselves justice, but each game with Kilkenny takes on a life of its own. I'm down here 2 years now, and the 4 games we played against them have been absolute chaos, and today was no different. But I suppose credit to Kilkenny, they absolutely went at it. They could have easily kind of changed their team up a whole pile and so on, but they went at it as they always do, and our lads stood up to it. But it was a titanic tussle, and very happy to get over the line for a finish.
In the early stages when Kilkenny got those early scores and that, did you think it was going to be one of those big disappointing days?
Yeah, but we spoke about that during the week as well. We've obviously had some very topsy-turvy performances, and we're taking a lot of flack for our second half performances down here over the last few weeks, but it was, we needed to hold our nerve and stay in the game, and that's what we did. It was just disappointing. We were losing our men. Kilkenny were coming in waves, and we were losing our runners in the first 10-15 minutes, and that's not good enough. We set up that we were man to man, we were touch tight, and we weren't. We were anything but in the first while. So it was just really really pleasing that I suppose we stuck to our task, and our character stood up, and no more so than our captain, our leader there. He was absolutely outstanding today, and as was everyone else, and credit goes to young Conor Foley, who came in as well and hurled very well. He shored up our defence when he came in after 15 minutes. So relieved and small bit disappointed at the other side of it.
Yeah, and in the second half you did look like to be pulling away. Kilkenny then hauled you back in again, went ahead marginally. I thought the line ball by Cathal Dunbar, then he got another point. He did show character, and you got a bit out of your subs today. Now that was a big help to you.
Yeah, we did, and Conor Hearn excellent as well, and Mikey Dwyer worked hard as he always does. But we're trying to build a panel. We haven't made any secrets out of that over the last few months, and we still need to even build further. And I suppose it's a big learning for me as my first managerial stint is that you just have to hold your nerve. Lots of people were losing their nerve here over the last few weeks, and I felt that the players and us as a management team held our nerve. We stuck to our task. We blocked out all the outside noise, and I'm just delighted that the boys got their just reward today.
Your captain Lee Chin, he led by example today. You just alluded to it, but he was immense in winning the hard ball and bringing his own players into it.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. He literally died on every ball that came in near him, and he fought and he hurt lads and he hurt himself, and that's what leaders do, and that's what captains do, and people need to cut him a bit of slack as well over the last few weeks. He hasn't been good, and he acknowledges that, but the man had a grade 2 AC tear about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he's only barely coming right for that. I'd say he's going to be sore for 10 days, 2 weeks now, but I'm sure once the Harriers get going the club championship, he'll be back ready for action. But he was immense today. Well,
now you reflect back on the year. When you see what you've done today and you reflect back on the year, you just get the temperament right, get the mindset right with Wexford. Seems to be a lot of it, because they were switching off in other matches and maybe not approaching it. Maybe if the other teams are wearing black and amber jerseys, it might make a big difference.
It seems to make our boys tick all right, but we just need is look. There's loads we need to look at. Some of our performance, some of our play during the year was just not good enough, and that's fair, and we'll take that on the chin. But there's a lot of underhand stuff and a lot of silly stuff going on the last few weeks as well, and thankfully, as I said, our lads blocked out that noise and got the result today, and we just need to drive forward together. I think what's most evident after today is that we don't get too high after wins and that we don't get too low after losses. Of course, the Westmeath loss was an extraordinary loss because of the lead we had, but ultimately we need to drive on forward together now, and it's great to have that crowd absolutely roaring on in the background there today, and fair play to them. They could have stayed away, but by Jesus, they roared us on for a finish.
You sound like a guy who has a bit of unfinished business down here in Wexford.
Well, sure, we'll see how it goes now over the next while. I've 3 young lads at home now, and I have to get them to the end of the school year, and I have to get to the end of the school year myself, so we'll see what happens. Lots of people would hope I go back up the road tonight and never come back down it, but sure, that's alright too. Yeah, that's I've thick skin, and I'm well able for all that stuff. But as I said, we held our nerve. Management team, players all held our nerve today, and thankfully we got the result we needed.